Hello and welcome back to our third part, Heartbreak and Loss music. We are going to be mixing and mastering this today, and we are using the template which I've shown you how to make in a video over there. It's a good starting place. So we've got reverb channels and stems that we can bounce out to. The first thing I'm going to do is go through and color code everything. Don't forget, if this is your sort of thing, like and subscribe, always appreciated. So I'm going to color code and I'm going to organize the different tracks into what I think are going to become the different stems. We don't actually have too many, so what I might do in this particular case is have a separate stem for each instrument. That seems to make sense. We've only got 7 of them. That should be fine. So when I've color coded, organized, made sure everything's labeled, because you can see I've missed some out here from the last session, I'll be back with you in a sec. There we go, nice little rainbow pattern. All I want to do now is go through and label these reverbs and stems at the bottom. So we'll start going from top to bottom with the track. So I'll do piano reverb, piano stem, and so on until the end. Once I've got them labeled, I need to go into each of the instruments, and instead of them going to the stereo out, I will need to output them to the correct stem. So we will go to the piano stem, and we'll also add the send going to the piano reverb. That should be really quick because we've got one for each, so they'll go up sequentially. Okay, see you when we've got that in. There we go, our reverbs and stems are all labelled nicely, and you can see the outputs that are going from bus 21 to 27 and the reverbs going from 1 to 7. This is a nice simple one to put together, which is very pleasant. What you'll notice is I've got a couple of EQs, because in the last part when we were doing the composing we did that because we wanted to shape some sounds. I'm going to go through and listen to some of the sounds, see if I need to shave any low end or top end or bring anything out for the different sounds first. So we're going to go through and do the EQ. Okay, see you in a sec. Okay, so just to give you an idea what was going on, these low strings, the bass drone and the rhythmic pad were the 3 that I was worried about mixing together. So what I've done on the low strings is done a bit of a dip and a bit of a raise, but what you'll see is in the bass drone I've done the opposite. So they're not getting in each other's way. In fact, they're getting out of each other's way very specifically. And for the rhythmic pad, what I've done is raised up the top end to pick out some of those rhythmic elements rather nicely. So that's our EQ done. What I need to do next is go through and put any reverb that I want, so they all sound like they're in the same room. By default, I've got the Air Studios room on. I might want to change that, move things around and possibly pan things a bit more left or right to give a bit more space. So let's go through and add some reverb. Okay, so in this pass, what I did was actually did quite a bit of panning. So remember, always make sure you're on stereo pan, so you're moving both channels at the same time. But just like I did with the EQ of cutting out opposite curves, I've panned those instruments to different sides as well. And also quite liked moving a couple of the others. It's quite good if you've got one of these sort of quite dense, slow mixes. The actual panning can really add to the effect. Now what I need to do is come down, take everything out of input monitoring mode, which is what I needed to be able to hear everything, and we're going to pop it into record mode, make sure all the tracks are selected. We are going to hit record and watch our creation come to life in audio stems. So see when that's happened. And there we go, we've got our stems. The other thing I did was moved everything out by a bar, because I didn't realise I've forgotten to do that. I was actually starting at the very beginning. I've moved it out a bar just so you've got a little bit of space before everything comes in case you need a fade or a transition at some point later. And don't forget to keep recording way past the end. that's pretty much it. I've also added Logic's mastering assistant. This time it was on transparent setting, and I've half agreed with it because its suggestion was a curve like that, which I was half expecting to lower the lows and increase the highs, but it sounded a little bit harsh. So I've dropped that down to 50% of what it thought, and I think the end result is pretty good. I'll play it for you as a bit of an outro. I hope you enjoyed that. Like and subscribe, always appreciated, and see you in the next one. Bye for now.